Hello everyone, welcome you all. Don't spoil your career. Master these golden rules. In this video, we are going to expose very important common grammatical mistakes you might be committing without even realizing it. So don't miss it. Watch this video till the end. English grammar. Why it matters? Why is it so important to us? To get answers to these questions, you must listen to the story. During my first big job interview after college, as part of the application process, I had to send a follow-up email summarizing why I was the best candidate. After hours of editing and rereading, I sent the email with a wave of relief. The email read, "I'm excited for the opportunity to prove my skills and work with a talented not team." I realized my mistake 2 hours later when the hiring manager replied, "We would love to hear how you would contribute to our T." Cue immediate panic. My face turned crimson as I envisioned them picturing me as a barista instead of a marketing professional. I quickly fired off an apologetic reply, blaming autocorrect and clarifying my excitement about joining their team. Surprisingly, they found the error charming. In my interview, they joked about having a company tea club and even offered to teach me about the tea market. That little slip turned into an icebreaker, and I got the job. Now, every time I write an email, I double check for oak teas. So, get your answer here. A misplaced comma or incorrect word choice can drastically alter the meaning of a sentence, leading to misunderstandings. For example, "Let's eat, grandma," it conveys care, while "let's eat, grandma" sparks panic. Precision in grammar bridges the gap between intention and interpretation. Do you need professional success and personal credibility? Then watch this video till the end. Whether crafting emails, reports, or presentations, errors in professional documents can leave clients or colleagues doubting your credibility or diligence. In the workplace, polished and effective communication is key to earning respect and advancing your career. Good grammar reflects attention to detail and competence. Before discussing about common errors of subject-verb agreement, let's understand subject-verb agreement. Subject-verb agreement is a fundamental rule of grammar that ensures that the verb must match the subject in number, singular or plural. This alignment is essential for clear and grammatically correct communication. Basic rules of subject-verb agreement. Singular subjects take singular verbs. For example, the bird sings. Here the bird is a singular subject and s comes after the verb. Sings is a singular verb. So the bird sings. Similarly, plural subjects take plural verbs. For example, the birds sing. The birds is a plural subject, so sing is a plural verb. So it's correct. Watch out for tricky subjects. Some subjects can seem plural, but actually they are singular. For example, indefinite pronouns, words like everyone, someone, each, and nobody are singular. Everyone is excited. Here, everyone is a singular subject. So, is a singular verb. So, the verb matches with the subject. Collective nouns, words like team, family, and group are singular when acting as a single unit. But it can be plural also when emphasizing individual members. For example, the team is practicing. Here, the team is the entire team. So the entire team is a singular subject. So the team is practicing is a singular verb. So it's correct. In the second example, the team are arguing among themselves. Here the team means individual members of the team. So it's a plural subject. So the verb is also plural, are. So the team are arguing among themselves. It's correct. Common pitfalls. Phrases between the subject and verb. Don't let intervening words confuse you. Always match the verb to the main subject. For example, the box of chocolates is on the table. It appears that chocolates is the plural subject and is a singular verb, so it's wrong, but actually not. The box of chocolates is a singular subject and is a singular verb, so it's correct. You shouldn't get confused with the word chocolates. So it's an intervening word. So the box of chocolates is a singular subject here. Subjects joined by and. Subjects joined by and are usually plural. For example, John and Mary are coming together. Here the John and Mary is a plural subject and are is a plural verb, so it's correct. Subjects joined by or not. The verb agrees with the subject closest to it. For example, either the teacher or the students are responsible. Here the teacher is a singular subject, the students is a plural subject, are is a plural verb, but the students are closer to the verb are. So the verb are is conforming to the nearest subject, that is plural, the students. So it is correct. Either the teacher or the students are responsible. By understanding and applying the rules of subject-verb agreement, you can avoid common grammar errors and communicate your ideas with clarity and professionalism. Let's discuss about common grammar mistakes in subject-verb agreement. Subject-verb agreement mistakes often occur when the verb doesn't match the subject in number. Here are some common errors with examples and corrections. Singular subject with plural verb. The cat ran across the yard. It's incorrect because the cat is a singular subject but ran plural verb. Correct sentence is the cat runs across the yard because here cat is singular, so the verb should also be singular, that is runs. Plural subject with singular verb. The dogs barks loudly. It's wrong because the dogs plural subject and barks singular verb. So the correct sentence is the dogs bark loudly. Dogs is plural, so the verb should also be plural. Intervening words confusing agreement. Mistake commonly committed. Letting words between the subject and verb affect the agreement. For example, the bouquet of flowers smell wonderful. Here the bouquet is a singular subject, the bouquet of flowers is a singular subject, smell is a plural verb, so it's wrong. The bouquet of flowers smells wonderful. The subject is bouquet, which is singular, not flowers, and smells is a singular verb, so it's correct. Indefinite pronouns treated as plural. Mistake committed. Using a plural verb with a singular indefinite pronouns like everyone, someone, nobody. For example, everyone have their own opinion. See, everyone is a singular subject. Have plural verb, so it's wrong. Everyone has their own opinion. Everyone is singular, so the verb should also be singular, that is has. Compound subjects misinterpreted. Misjudging whether a compound subject is singular or plural is a mistake. Peanut butter and jelly are my favorite. Incorrect. Correct sentence is peanut butter and jelly is my favorite because peanut butter and jelly refers to one dish, so it's singular. So singular verb is the appropriate one. The book and the pen is on the table. Incorrect, because the book and the pen are on the table. The book and the pen are two separate items, so a plural verb is needed. Subjects with or not. Mistake using a verb that doesn't match the closest subject. Either the students or the teacher are coming. Incorrect, because the teacher is closest to the verb are. So the teacher is singular, so the are is plural verb. Not right. Correct sentence is either the students or the teacher is coming. Here the teacher is closest to the verb is. The teacher is singular, so the is singular verb is correct. So the verb agrees with teacher, the closest subject singular. Neither the dog nor the cats is outside. Here the cats is closest to the verb is. The cats plural subject, so is singular, wrong. So neither the dog nor the cats are outside. The verb agrees with cats, closest subject is plural. Collective nouns misinterpreted. Mistake treating collective nouns like team, family, group as plural when they act as a single entity. The team are winning the game. Here the team is a singular subject but are is a plural verb, so it's wrong. The team is winning the game. The team is a singular subject and is a singular verb. When acting as a single unit, collective nouns take a singular verb. Sentences starting with there or here. Mistake using the wrong verb form with the actual subject that comes after the verb. There is many reasons to celebrate. Wrong, because reasons plural subject but is singular verb. There are many reasons to celebrate is correct because reasons plural subject and are plural verb. The subject reasons is plural, so the verb should also be plural, that is are. By being mindful of these common mistakes, you can ensure proper subject-verb agreement and avoid confusion in your writing. Now let's discuss about practical tips for identifying and correcting subject-verb agreement errors. Subject-verb agreement is straightforward once you master a few strategies to identify and fix errors. Practical tips. First, identify the subject and verb. Find the subject of the sentence, who or what is performing the action. Then find the verb, what the subject is doing or its state of being. Then check if the subject and verb match in number, means singular subject versus singular verb and plural subject versus plural verb. For example, the group of students were excited. Here the group is a singular subject and were is a plural verb. So it's a mismatch and incorrect. So the correct sentence is the group of students was excited. Here the group is a singular subject and was is a singular verb. Ignore words between the subject and verb. Phrases or clauses between the subject and verb can distract you. Focus on the main subject. For example, the book on the shelves were interesting. Here the book is a singular subject and the verb were is plural. So it's wrong. Correct sentence is the book on the shelves was interesting. The book is a singular subject and was is also a singular verb. Be cautious with indefinite pronouns. Words like everyone, someone, nobody, and each are always singular and take singular verbs. Words like few, many, several, and both are always plural and take plural verbs. For example, everyone have finished their work. Everyone is a singular subject, but have is a plural verb, so it's wrong. The correct sentence is everyone has finished their work. Everyone is a singular subject and has is a singular verb. So it's correct. Check compound subjects. Subjects joined by and are plural unless they form a single unit. For example, the chairman and the principal are going to the party. Here the chairman and the principal are two different persons. Therefore, the chairman and the principal is a compound subject but plural subject. That's why the verb are plural is correct. In the second example, the chairman and principal is going to the party. Here the chairman and the principal are the same person. Both roles are filled by one person. Therefore, the chairman and principal is a singular subject and the verb is also singular. So it's correct. Subjects joined by or not agree with the subject closest to the verb. For example, neither the dog nor the cats are outside. Here the cats plural subject is nearer to the verb are, which is also plural. That's why it's correct. Be mindful of collective nouns. Treat collective nouns, team, family, group as singular if acting as a unit and plural if referring to individual members. For example, the family is going on vacation. Here the family means the entire family, one single unit. That's why the family is a singular subject and is also a singular verb. So it's correct. In the second example, the family are arguing about where to go. Here the family means individual members of the family. So here the family is a plural subject and the verb are is also plural. So it's correct. Pay attention to sentences starting with there or here. The subject comes after the verb in these sentences. Match the verb to the true subject. As for example, there is 5 apples in the basket. Here apples is a plural subject but is a singular verb, so it's incorrect. The correct sentence is there are 5 apples in the basket. Apples is a plural subject or is a plural verb, so it's correct. Read loud to hear the mistake. Sometimes grammar errors are more noticeable when spoken. Reading the sentence loud can help you catch agreement issues. For example, the flowers smells amazing. Here the flowers is a plural subject but smells is a singular verb, so it's incorrect. So the correct sentence is the flowers smell amazing. The flowers is a plural subject, smell is a plural verb, so it's correct. Use a grammar checker. Tools like Grammarly, ProWriting Aid, or built-in word processors can highlight subject-verb agreement errors. Learn common exceptions and tricky cases. Familiarize yourself with exceptions like collective nouns, indefinite pronouns, and singular subjects that sound plural, like news, mathematics, physics. For example, the news is surprising. The news here is a singular subject, and is also a singular verb, so it's correct. In the next example, the scissors are on the table. Here, the scissors is a plural subject and are is also a plural verb, so it's correct. Practice proofreading with focus on agreement. During editing, specifically check sentences for subject-verb alignment. Highlight the subject and verb in each sentence to ensure they match. By following these tips, you can confidently spot and fix subject-verb agreement errors, enhancing both the clarity and professionalism of your writing. Before discussing about errors of tenses, let's understand tenses. Tenses in English indicate the time of action, event, or condition. They are divided into three main categories: past, present, and future, with each having subcategories that provide some more specific details about timing and completeness of the action. Let's know about it. Past tense. The past tense describes actions or events that have already happened in the past. Past tense has four subcategories: simple past or past indefinite, past continuous, past perfect, and past perfect continuous. Simple past or past indefinite used for actions that occurred at a specific time in the past. Structure: subject plus past tense verb. For example, she visited the doctor yesterday. She is the subject. Visited is the past tense form of the verb visit, the doctor, object, and yesterday time. Past continuous is used to describe actions that were ongoing at a certain point in the past. That means the event occurred in the past, but it was going on for some time in the past. Structure: subject plus was, were, and were with ing. For example, they were studying when the guest came. They is the subject, plural subject. That's why were. Study verb with ing, studying. So they were studying when the guest came. Past perfect is used for actions that were completed before another past action. That means when two events occurred in the past, one event occurred before the other one. So for the earlier event, we use past perfect tense. Structure: subject plus had plus past participle. For example, by the time she arrived, he had left. He left occurred in the past. She arrived occurred in the past. He left occurred earlier. That's why past perfect tense has been used for this event. So by the time she arrived, he had left. Past perfect continuous describes actions that were ongoing before another action in the past. That means two events occurred in the past, but one event was going on for some time in the past. So for this event, we use past perfect continuous tense. Structure: subject plus had been plus verb with ing. So they had been studying for hours before the exam started. Their subject had been studying for hours before the exam started. Exam started in the past, one event. They studied in the past, another event. But since study was going on for some time in the past, that's why we have used past perfect continuous, that they had been studying for hours before the exam started. Present tense. The present tense describes actions happening now, habitual actions, or universal truths. It has also four subcategories: simple present or present indefinite, present continuous, present perfect, and present perfect continuous. Simple present or present indefinite is used for habitual actions, facts, or universal truths. Structure: subject plus base verb with addition of s or es for singular third person. For example, the sun rises in the east. Here, the sun rises in the east is a universal truth. He gets up early in the morning. It's a habitual action. That's why simple present tense has been used. Present continuous. It describes actions happening right now or in progress. Structure: subject plus am is are plus verb with ing. For example, she is reading a book right now. That means reading is an ongoing process happening at present. That's why present continuous tense has been used. She is reading a book right now. Present perfect. It is used for actions that occurred at an unspecified time in the past and have relevance to the present. That means the action has occurred in the past, but its effect is still present. Structure: subject plus has or have and past participle. Example: he has finished his homework. Though he has finished his homework in the past, but its effect is still present. Present perfect continuous describes actions that started in the past and continue into the present. That means the action has already started in the past but is still continuing at present. Structure: subject plus has been or have been plus verb with ing. Example: we have been waiting for 2 hours. Though the action has started in the past, but it's still continuing at present. For such case, we use present perfect continuous. But in present perfect, the action started in the past, the action has been finished in the past, but its effect is still present. But in present perfect continuous, action started in the past, but is still continuing at present. Future tense. The future tense describes actions that have not yet happened but will occur in future. It has four subcategories: simple future or future indefinite, future continuous, future perfect, and future perfect continuous. Simple future or future indefinite is used for actions that will happen in the future. Structure: subject plus will or shall and base verb. Example: she will travel to Paris next week. That means the event has not started yet. It will happen in future. That's why simple future tense has been used. She will travel to Paris next week. Future continuous. It describes actions that will be ongoing at a specified time in the future. That means the action has not started yet. It will occur in future, but it will happen for some time in future. So it will be a continuous process for some time in future. So it's an ongoing process to happen in future. Structure: subject plus will be plus verb with ing. Example: they will be eating dinner at 7 p.m. Dinner has not started yet. It will occur in future, but it will go on for some time in the future. That's why it will be an ongoing process at 7 p.m., that is at a specified time. Future perfect. It is used for actions that will be completed before a certain point in the future. That means the action will be completed in future. It's a simple future event. Structure: subject plus will have plus past participle. Example: by next month I will have completed the project. Future perfect continuous. It describes actions that will have been ongoing for a period of time at a certain point in the future. That means the action will be an ongoing process in future and it will finish in future too. So, structure: subject plus will have been plus verb with ing. For example, by next year she will have been teaching at the school for 10 years. Tips for appropriate tense usage. Consider the timeline. Match the tense to the time of the action, past, present, or future. Avoid shifts. Maintain tense consistency within sentences and paragraphs unless the timeline requires a change. Use context clues. Time markers like yesterday, now, tomorrow, and by next year can help identify the correct tense. Master perfect tenses. Use perfect tenses for actions that link different time frames. By understanding the structure and appropriate usage of each tense, you can express actions clearly and effectively, making your communication precise and grammatically correct. Before discussing common errors of active and passive voice, let's understand active and passive voice. Voice in grammar refers to the relationship between the subject and the verb in a sentence. Understanding the distinction between active voice and passive voice is crucial for effective and clear communication. What is active voice? In active voice, the subject performs the action of the verb. Structure: subject, verb, object. Example: the doctor treated the patient. Here the subject, doer of the action, is the doctor. Verb: treated, and object, that is receiver of the action, is the patient. Impact on clarity. Direct and clear. Active voice makes sentences concise and straightforward. Engaging, it emphasizes the subject performing the action, which is more engaging for the reader. What is passive voice? In passive voice, the subject is the receiver of the action, while the doer of the action may be omitted or mentioned later in the sentence. Structure: object, verb, by plus subject. Example: the patient was treated by the doctor. Object of the active sentence, that is, the patient, has become the subject here. Was is the past tense of the be verb. Past participle of the verb treated. By plus subject of the active sentence has become the object here, that is the doctor. Impact on clarity. Less direct. Passive voice can make sentences wordy and obscure the subject performing the action. Appropriate in specific contexts. It can be useful when the doer of the action is unknown, unimportant, or needs de-emphasizing. Key differences between active and passive voice. Active voice focuses on the doer, that is the subject, whereas passive voice focuses on the receiver, that is the object. In terms of clarity, active voice is clear and concise, and on the other hand, passive voice can be vague or wordy. Usage. Commonly used in casual, academic, and professional writing for directness, often used in scientific or formal writing to emphasize results or objectivity. For example, the chef prepared the meal, active. The meal was prepared by the chef, passive voice. When to use active voice? Everyday writing for emails, essays, and narratives to make writing direct and engaging. Action-oriented sentences when emphasizing who is performing the action. For example, the government has declared its new schemes. When to use passive voice? To emphasize the object when the receiver of the action is more important than the doer. For example, the award was given to Jackie when the doer is unknown. For example, the window was broken during the storm. Used in scientific or technical writing to focus on results or procedures. For example, the data was collected over 3 months. Pitfalls of overusing passive voice. Vagueness. Passive voice can make writing unclear if the doer of the action is omitted. For example, mistakes were made. Who made the mistakes? Not known. Wordiness. Passive constructions often require more words, making sentences less concise. For example, the teacher graded the essays, active voice. In passive, the essays were graded by the teacher. How to spot and revise passive voice? Identify passive constructions. Look for forms of to be, is, was, were, etc., followed by a past participle. For example, the report was written by Jane. Rewrite in active voice, Jane wrote the report. Flip the sentence, the subject and the object get interchanged. Now we'll discuss about common grammar mistakes of tense and voice. Tense and voice are essential elements of grammar that govern when actions happen and how they are expressed. Errors in these areas can make sentences unclear, awkward, or misleading. Below are common mistakes with examples and explanations. Inconsistent tense usage. Switching between tenses unnecessarily confuses readers. She walked to the park and then she is buying ice cream. Absolutely wrong. Correct sentence is she walked to the park and then she bought ice cream. The actions are in the past, so the same tense walked and bought should be used. Using the wrong tense for context. Choosing a tense that doesn't match the context disrupts meaning. For example, tomorrow I went to the store. Tomorrow indicates the future, went indicates the past. So it's a mismatch. Correct sentence is tomorrow I'll go to the store. Tomorrow indicates the future, so the future tense will go is required. Misuse of perfect tenses. Perfect tenses, for example, present perfect, past perfect are often used incorrectly. For example, I have finished the report before the meeting started. The starting of the meeting and finishing of the report, both the events occurred in the past. But the report had been finished before the meeting started, means the finishing of the report occurred earlier. That's why past perfect tense should be used for the earlier event. So I had finished the report before the meeting started. This is the correct one. Confusion between active and passive voice. Misusing voice can lead to unclear or awkward sentences. In active voice, the subject performs the action. In passive voice, the subject receives the action. For example, the cake was eaten by the children. Passive overuse and it's awkward. The correct sentence is the children ate the cake. It is active. Active voice is clearer and more direct, though passive voice can be appropriate in specific contexts, like emphasizing the action over the doer. Mixing active and passive voice. Switching between active and passive voice within the same sentence can confuse readers. For example, the teacher explains the lesson, but the homework was completed by the students. Incorrect. The correct sentence is the teacher explains the lesson and the students complete the homework. Keep consistency in voice within a sentence or paragraph unless a deliberate shift is required. Incorrect use of future tense, using will or shall incorrectly for future events. For example, if you will finish your work, you can go home early. It's incorrect. The correct sentence is if you finish your work, you can go home early. The present tense finish is used in the conditional clause even when referring to the future. Redundant passive voice. Passive voice often leads to redundancy or awkward phrasing. For example, the ball was kicked by John. Incorrect. John kicked the ball. Correct. Active voice is concise and eliminates unnecessary words. Shifts between past and present. Jumping between past and present tense disrupts the flow of writing. For example, she was running to catch the bus, but it leaves before she arrives. Incorrect. She was running to catch the bus, but it left before she arrived. Correct. Keep the narrative in the past for consistency. Overuse of passive voice in technical writing. While passive voice is common in technical contexts, overuse can obscure clarity. For example, the experiment was conducted by the team and the results were analyzed. Incorrect. The correct one is the team conducted the experiment and analyzed the results. Explanation. Active voice often makes writing more engaging and readable. Improper use of continuous tenses. Using continuous progressive tenses unnecessarily can create confusion. For example, I am knowing the answer. Incorrect. I know the answer. Correct. Verbs like know, believe, and understand are not typically used in continuous tenses. Now let's discuss about some tips for avoiding tense and voice mistakes. Stay consistent. Choose one tense or voice and stick to it unless a logical shift is needed. Check context. Align tense with time markers in the sentence. For example, yesterday signals past tense. Understand perfect tenses. Use present perfect for actions continuing to the present and past perfect for actions completed before another past action. Favor active voice. Use active voice for clarity and directness, switching to passive only when necessary. Proofread. Reread your work to catch tense or voice inconsistencies. By understanding and avoiding these common errors, your writing will become clearer, more engaging, and grammatically sound. Now, to conclude with, mastering the proper use of English grammar significantly improves the quality of writing. Consistent and correct use of tenses ensures that ideas are communicated clearly, allowing readers to follow the timeline of events effortlessly. Active voice generally makes writing more direct, dynamic, and engaging, while passive voice used judiciously can add variety or emphasize the object of an action. Avoiding grammatical errors ensures that the writer's ideas are conveyed effectively without distractions. Employing proofreading techniques and leveraging tools like grammar checkers can help maintain accuracy. Ultimately, attention to these elements strengthens the impact of your communication, making it polished and effective, which fosters credibility and professionalism. Thank you for watching the video till the end. Follow the channel for more similar videos. Have a great time.